We got Doc from Hiker Trash Radio.
Coming up right now. What's up, everybody? This is Derek, and with me today is the only man to saute his food in his own earwax and deodorant after the butter is gone, Carl Mandrioli. How you doing, big boy?
Welcome to the Backpacking Bushes podcast, everybody. Welcome. With me today is Derek Somerville. He's a man who tries to make his trash cans look fancy.
Yes.
But it's just a waste of time.
Oh, boy. A waste. Get it. That was good. That sounds good.
Thank you.
I got to get that website.
We have a fellow podcaster on our show today.
Yes. The Doc.
The Doc
is in.
Radio. Yeah. We're going to learn about hiker trash. We're going to learn about, we basically have 3 insane adventure stories that we don't think you live without. These are great.
Yeah.
So he's a wealth of stories, and he's going to give us some bite-sized versions of these that are just excellent. Agreed?
Good stories. Great stories. Stories. Yeah. It's going to be great.
All right. Our Bible verse for the show is Psalm 113:7. He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He does. Ash heap is kind of like the trash for this episode.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
When was the last time that you were down on the dumps in the ash heap, Derek?
The ash heap of life? Is that?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna?
Of anything, just hiking, exercise, just being nice to people, any of that stuff.
When was I in the heap? I was actually just pruning my entire yard, and I was covered head to toe in millions of ants and plants everywhere. So that was pretty dumpy and trashy.
So ants were crawling all over you as you're pruning your yard, and you just like let them go.
Well, I was chopping down these giant plant birds of paradise, and I didn't realize like they're just covered in ants, and they're just getting all over me. So I jumped in the pool. I just jumped in the pool. Like, you know what? If I go, they go. Boom. You know?
That's hilarious. If I go, they go.
That's right. We're going together.
So you're like, I have millions of ants on me, but you're all about to die. Like
it's like clothes or no clothes. We're going in. Let's go.
You're going fully clothed.
Gotta do what you gotta do, Carl. Gotta do what you gotta do. You know?
Oh my gosh.
I know that's wild. I know it's wild for you out there in Colorado.
Okay, that's a good story. I like that one.
You like that?
Okay. That might be that might rival some of the stories we're about to hear from Doc.
It's up there. I think he's gonna be amazing. He's got some good ones.
Yeah, for sure. So we asked him to kind of dig deep and pull him out because, like I said, he's had a variety of guests on his show, and we were in for a treat here, folks.
Yeah.
So without further ado, here we go. All right, with us today is legendary host of the podcast called Hiker Trash Radio, a man who goes by the name of Doc. How's it going today, sir?
Legendary. Wow, I am honored that you just made my day, made my month. So
I'm gonna call you the trash man if that's okay. I think that's more it's just more pizzazzed, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I love it. The trash.
We've run into people that listen to your show, so that's legendary. You have, what are you up to now? You're like 300 and something episodes now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna run this episode in on my podcast as well. It's gonna be in season 7, so we're just starting off probably about 10 episodes in to season 7. So there's 50 episodes per season, so we're definitely on our way to 350.
That's legendary. That by definition is legendary.
Is that what that means? Legendary?
Most podcasts last 10 episodes or less.
So one of my former guests said that I pretty much have a doctorate in hiker trashdom. So
I would.
It's good because I got some questions along those lines.
Got a lot of trashy questions today.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so your show wasn't always called that though. So it used to be known as like the John Freaking Muir podcast. So for those that don't know, what's the story behind the change? What's going on here?
Yeah, the John Freaking Muir Pod. I think it served its purpose while we had it. It was a lot of fun. The name, it had some special meaning in our family because we had other nicknames going around in the household with freaking in the middle of it. So it just made sense to have the John Freaking Muir Pod. But I think it was a little bit niche. It was I think Hiker Trash Radio had a wider range, maybe broader appeal, maybe more marketable. And so I just decided Memorial Day weekend that I think it's time for a change. Mm-hmm. And we were driving down somewhere, the whole family was, and we had like a family brainstorm and stumbled across that and couldn't believe that hadn't been picked up by anybody. So we went with it. Yeah.
A family brainstorm. I like that.
You must have a pretty outdoorsy family if they're coming up with hiker trash.
Well,
I bet it was his kid. Was it your kid?
I have enlisted my youngest daughter, who is now, she just turned 23.
Okay.
And early on, I don't know about early on, but when she was a 9th grader, we did some hiking and she was behind me and she was commenting on the size of my calves and said, your trail name should be Calf Master. And I said, well, I said, well, what are you then? A half calf? And so that became her trail name, Half Calf. But she has helped me out with the podcast a little bit in terms of social media and doing some voiceovers here or there. And so she's been kind of involved from the beginning on this. And she was the one that came up with Hiker Trash Radio. So give it out to Half Calf.
Half Calf.
I knew it, the kid. Right, I like it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So for like the non-through hikers, like what is hiker trash? What is that all about?
Yeah. So, I mean, to the non-hikers out there and you hear somebody being called hiker trash, you might think that that's maybe kind of rude, but really it's a term of endearment for someone who, has left society and its norms behind a little bit and followed their journey out on the trails, kind of in the wilderness.
So you're not out there with a poking stick, just picking up trash, keeping the trails clean. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And
you think it's a term of endearment? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because we came across, we weren't too far, or I think we were like right off the Continental Divide Trail. So we were running into through hikers this past summer and we ran into a woman who, I mean, by my definition, she was hiker trash. And we stood pretty far back from her. And her aroma was so strong that it was like, I was like, I got 60 seconds free conversation. I got to keep hiking because it was like a mixture of like body odor and urine, I want to say. And so to me, that's hiker trash. And that's not very endearing.
That's stereotypical, Carl. And it's all about perspective.
It's what happened. That's literally what happened. It's not a stereotype.
I'm glad Doc's here to shed some light on this.
Yeah, shed some light. How is this endearing?
Please.
Well, she's out there living her best life. She obviously does not smell what you're smelling. I mean, she's used to
it. Clearly.
And when you're out there for a long period of time and you've got some day hikers coming through, you can smell them coming a mile away because they smell good.
They do.
They got the soap. You can smell the soap and the shampoo, the cologne. It's something. But she doesn't know she smells like that. She's gotten used to it.
Right.
And I've talked to a number of guests who have said that there's criteria. There's actually, you've got to have some trail cred to earn the moniker hiker trash. And
there's like a level of stink. Is that what we're talking about?
No, I mean, just kind of like accomplishments, like sleeping in a pit toilet or, pulling food out of the trash or off of a stranger's plate, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe washing your clothes in the public shower. I mean, these are all things that
this is like
qualify you for hiker trashdom.
This is next level.
Some of these things I am not too ashamed to do, but not sleeping in the pit toilet. Not going to happen.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Couldn't do that one.
I mean, if you're sleeping in the pit toilet, imagine what the conditions are outside that drove you
to
sleep in the pit toilet.
Yeah.
So
whatever they are, like hurricane plus earthquake plus hail plus snow, better than the pit toilet. Better.
Dig a snow grave and call it a day.
That's right.
That's funny.
Okay, have you done those things? Have you done the pit toilet sleepover or what's going on?
I have not done the pit toilet sleepover. No, I have washed some clothes in the shower though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean that's sure.
That's like level 1. I'll say like I'm okay to smell like body odor. I'm okay to smell like the sweat, the stink. I don't want to smell like urine to anybody though. So
well, too late for that, Carl. Too late for that. Have you dug through the trash?
She was obviously still learning how to use the pocket bidet. So
that's true.
Yeah.
The go girl. The go girl.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. So your show is guest based show, and we've gone more to that in the last year or so. So we're kind of new in that regard, and so we don't have quite like the catalog of amazing guests you've had over the years. So we're curious about some of the more interesting or the craziest stories you've heard, the ones that really stand out from the variety of guests you've had. So if you could come up with 3 of those, what you got?
Guys, I know you asked me for 3, but it's tough. I can't narrow it to 3. Can I just talk really fast about 5?
We got 5. Okay.
Okay.
Ready, go.
Because these are some good stories, man.
All right, go. Okay, number 1. We'll categorize this. All right, number 1.
Here we go. Number 1. Here we go.
Okay, number 1. You have to go with Jeff Garmeyer. You guys familiar with Jeff Garmeyer?
Yeah, we tried to get on the show and we email battled and we failed.
failed.
Yeah, he is a wild man. He has been on about 5 or 6 episodes. He's co-hosted a couple episodes with me.
Okay.
My claim to fame is that I can text him and he'll text me back. So I'm really happy about my status in his
It's a
life.
story right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jeff Garmire, for anybody out there who doesn't know who he is, he's a calendar year Triple Crowner. He was like the 3rd person to do the Great Western Loop. He's competed in the Barkley Marathons. He's an ultra marathoner. He's got 20 FKTs. He's just he's a quirky guy. He's hilarious.
Okay.
Got a real dry sense of humor and just funny as anything.
I like it.
But he tells this story about when he was on the Great Western Loop. He was heading south on part of the loop. The Great Western Loop, for those who don't know, it's actually like a 6,500 mile trail that connects parts of the PCT, the CDT, 3 other national trails, and there's also a section where you're off-roading. Okay. But he tells a story where he's on one of those trails and he's getting close to a town, and he sees a pair of moose antlers on the ground in the bushes, and he thinks, these would look great on my wall. I'm gonna pick these up, and I'm gonna carry them into town the last couple of miles here, and I'm gonna ship them to myself. So he goes over and he grabs the moose antlers, and comes to find out that they are not. They're still attached to a moose, a live moose, a live bull moose, who is none too happy about this guy yanking on his antlers.
That's amazing.
He's just laying.
That is amazing.
Wow.
I love
So
this.
he spends the next 15 minutes trying to stay on the other side of the tree from this thing that's now trying to run him over.
Right.
Of course. Yeah.
They have short memories. He eventually forgets that he's there and stumbles off. But I'm picturing him, reaching down to grab the antlers and then having the realization of, oh no, this could be a big mistake.
Ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh geez. That's a
I'll
good
be
story.
honest. Like, if that were Derek would probably still get the antlers off the moose.
I'd figure it out. I got a buck knife.
That's right.
That's right. Figure it out. Carl will be filming the whole thing probably too.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's funny though. You mentioned the reaction to it was trying to stay on the other side of the tree. Like that is from what I've read, that's the appropriate reaction. Is you want to put a tree between you and the moose, and especially if you're startling the wild animal. Man, sounds like he handled that well. But that is stinking funny.
Carl, what did you do when you saw the moose on the trail? What were you doing again?
I think it chased it down the trail
and got the camera out. Yeah,
got the camera.
Complete
out,
opposite. Nice. Okay.
I have an unhealthy lack of fear of wild animals. That'll probably be my undoing. Is you'll read a story like foolish tourist does such and such.
Gets attacked by marmots.
Right.
And
that's a character trait that has taken down many a person.
Yeah,
true.
for sure.
Probably true.
For sure. So
yeah.
All right, that was number 1. That was a good one. Okay, I like that one. You got 4 more. Really? That's awesome.
Next one is inspirational because I happened to be camping at a spot just south of Mount Whitney. It was like 2 miles below and 13,400 feet. We gotten up there. It's a dry camping spot. We set up our tents. We spent the night, and then we did Whitney the next day.
Like at the junction, like on the ridge line?
Yes. Yeah. There's a
like at the end of the Jamir Trail, basically.
Yeah. There's a sign that says Whitney 1.9, Whitney Trail 1.9 miles. It's literally just below that signpost. There's like spots for 8-10 people.
Somebody gave me some free craisins there one time.
Craisins.
As
your claim to fame?
Yeah. Is that a good story too? Probably not. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Keep on. Yeah, please.
So we had I take back the whole morning hike to Whitney. We did a sunset summit that night, but we got up the next morning, packed up, and as we're packing up, we're hearing from people who had gone up for a sunrise hike up to the top of Whitney, and they were telling us about all the tears that were shed up on top of Mount Whitney because there was this guy up there who had been paralyzed in a jiu-jitsu accident, partially paralyzed, and he had struggled back and overcome, and he had still had problems with mobility, but he had dragged himself up to the top of Whitney. And I had him come on the show. I reached out to him and had him come on the show. His name is Jack Ryan Greener, and he talked about that jiu-jitsu accident. It was a training accident with an instructor who literally snapped his neck and caused this lifelong, journey for him. And he was not going to let that slow him down. And he talked about what it took to get up to the top of that mountain. So just an incredible, inspiring story that, when I think I have things rough, I think about, Jack Ryan Greener.
Jeez.
Did you have the podcast at the time?
What's that?
Like you heard of the story about this guy who's on top of Mount Whitney who does this. Were you a podcast host at the time that this was happening?
Yes, I was. I reached out to him, shortly after I got back from the trip, and had him on, and it was a lot of fun having him as a guest and having him tell that story.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Derek, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
I was gonna say his instructor injured him. You said.
Yeah, I think there was legal action pending when we had our discussion. So I don't know how that turned out.
So they're not training together anymore, I would imagine.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's fair.
So as just, like you're part of the media now, so you got to get both sides of the story. Are you going to have the jiu-jitsu instructor on to describe the situation here?
Of course.
That would be a good follow-up episode. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. That would be juicy.
I don't know what you title it, like jiu-jitsu instructor who paralyzes one of his clients. That's not
perfect title.
Yeah, not a good one right there.
Probably not good for business. No.
Right.
This is the bad guy.
Okay. This is the villain. Okay. That is inspirational. I'll have to check that one out. When was that one out? What season were we in for that one?
I think that was probably season 3.
Okay. So gotta dig back into the archives there.
That's right.
All right.
That's 2 for 2 good stories.
Yeah.
What's number 3?
Let's see if we can continue the trend here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So number 3 is a story that just cracks me up inside because I was talking to a retired lieutenant commander in the Navy.
Okay.
Ben Vaughn, whose trail name is Ginger Balls.
Okay.
Ginger Balls.
Sure, there's a story there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There is. But he had gotten it into his head about 10 years previous to retiring from the Navy that he wanted to do the Appalachian Trail. And so being retired military, he finally got out and he over-prepared. He brought 3 of everything in case the other 2 broke, right? So he's got like a 60-pound pack, 60-plus pound pack on his back. He shows up to Springer Mountain, the southern terminus of the AT. He meets a guy there who's 20 years old, it's Garrett Hernandez, and he goes by the trail name Scrapbook. And unbeknownst to Ginger Balls, Ben, Scrapbook, this was his 3rd long trail. He was on the verge of becoming a triple crowner at the age of 20. And Garrett, he's seen his way on a few trails, and so he knows what to bring. And he's got like a 12-pound pack. And so they meet at Springer Mountain, retired Navy veteran, 20-year-old kid. One guy's got a 65-pound pack. The other guy's got a 12-pound pack. And they're both looking at each other and thinking to themselves, this guy is not going to make it.
Right.
They both had, and I had them on separately, and I also had them on together.
See, so you do show both sides of the story.
That's
here.
right.
That's cool.
That's right.
I like it.
Okay.
But, Garrett is looking at Ben saying, that's way too much weight. He doesn't know what he's getting into. And of course, Ben's looking at Garrett saying, this kid did not bring nearly enough to survive out there.
Of course. Yeah.
He's not going to make it.
Opposites attract, though, right?
Wait, okay. Doc, have you had this experience where you're out on the trail and you're just like, judging somebody? You're like, this person, this is crazy. Like they're wearing a leather jacket and jeans. They're probably not going to make camp. Have you had that issue?
Yes. I saw a guy out there with his 2 kids, and he was wearing slacks and loafers. And I was thinking to myself, how in the heck did he get out here? I mean, we're out in nowhere.
Yeah.
And the kids are complaining about these huge blisters on their feet, and they were totally unprepared.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, hey, good luck.
I just think that unless something crazy happens, people end up making it. If they're committed to going, I mean, we were out on a trail in Wyoming where we saw like the Jeans family, like they all had their kids wearing jeans, and they had obnoxious packs with, multiple full Nalgene's dangling off the side with carabiners. And I think they made camp. Like they made it. It's just more painful, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. That's interesting. All right. That was 3. Number 4, what you got?
Number 4, another fan favorite is Wesley Tills.
Okay.
Ooh.
Does that sound familiar? Wesley Tills?
I haven't heard that one.
His Instagram handle is Vagrant Viking 93, I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
And he was a missionary. He was a Mormon missionary at the ripe young age of 18 or 19 years old. And he's on his mission in California and determines that this is not for him. It's not really, it's not syncing up with his level of happiness. He feels like he shouldn't be doing this. And so he goes to the temple and he prays, and he looks up from his prayers, and he sees a map of California with this red line going down it. And he gets a little closer, and he realizes that red line is the Pacific Crest Trail.
Right.
And so he takes that as a sign. He's gonna leave his mission, and he's gonna go out on the trail.
Wow.
And so he goes back and he tells his buddy this, the guy that he's doing his mission work with, that night, that he's going to leave, and he's going to leave the next day. And somehow the church elders get wind of this, and they send out a recovery team to bring him back in.
That
he
quick.
He hears about this recovery team coming,
100%.
and he throws everything into his backpack, gets on his bike, and takes off in the middle of the night.
Wow.
And doesn't look back. He ends up staying in the woods for a while, and then he's now this incredible. He's truly an incredible through hiker.
That is hilarious.
That was about 20 years ago, and he still gets phone calls from current day missionaries who have heard the story. And of course, the story grows larger with every telling. He says one of the last people that called him wanted to know if it was true that he stole a police car during his escape from the church elders.
100%.
100% he did.
100%.
I escaped the Mormon church by stealing a police car and arriving at the Pacific Crest Trail.
That's right.
And lived in the woods for 3 months. That's funny. Wow.
So so he's not part of the Mormon church anymore. He's now just a through hiker.
He's just a through hiker.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's a good one too.
The PCT conversion. Right?
Yes, that's right.
That's a good title right there.
Okay.
Wow.
That should have been the title.
You're welcome.
My title was The Runaway Missionary. So
I like
That's
that
not
one
bad.
too. That
That's
was
not
good.
bad. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Final story finale. What you got?
Here we
final
go.
story. It really, Hiker Trash Radio, we talk about a lot about hiker trash, talk a lot about through hiking, section hiking, but we also cover a lot of outdoor adventure of different kinds. You know, I say that the outdoor adventure tree has many branches. And so this last one is not a through hiker. It has nothing to do with hiking. It is about long distance bike racing. I had the great fortune to talk to Lael Wilcox.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's the Tour Divide winner like a million times.
Yeah,
She
she's incredible.
rides from Canada just to get to the race like 1,000 miles or something. I don't know.
So she came on the podcast. She told this story where her second race ever that she entered intentionally was the Trans-America race from Oregon to Virginia.
Okay.
And she entered it and told me about her experience during that race. And there was one period of time where her seat got broken and she had to ride 50 miles standing up to the next town before she was able to get parts and fix the seat.
Right.
So that's just one. That's not even the story. That's just one part of the story.
Okay.
The better part of the story is the finish, because she ends up tracking down the favorite to win the race, this Frenchman, who last 100 miles. So, I don't know how long the race is, 2,700, 3,000 miles, whatever it might be. She catches the guy going the wrong direction in the last 100 miles. He is sleep deprived. He's been looking over his shoulder the whole time, hearing that she's catching up.
Yeah.
And he ends up going the wrong direction, and they meet going opposite directions, and he realizes he's going the wrong direction. So he turns around and he catches up to her and he says, "Hey, let's just ride across. You've done a great job. Let's just ride across the finish line together." And she looked at him and laughed and said, "No way." And
no way.
left him in the dust. And she won the thing outright. Male, female, whatever. Just an incredible story.
That's awesome.
Wait, did she say as she's passing him? I don't know if she's able to recognize him. I assume that she would. Was she like, whoa, like does a little kind of like turn around, or was she just like, I'm gonna keep my head down, and if he doesn't notice me and he's kind of sleepy, maybe he keeps on going the wrong way?
I think it's the latter. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wow.
Derek, what do you think about that? Like, you're really good. Like, you're not sleep deprived, but you go the wrong way all the time on the trail.
Do I?
Yeah.
Well, you're the one giving directions, so that's probably why.
Okay.
And
you need directions when you're backpacking. Nice.
luckily, I keep a map with me to get back on trail, so that's good. Jeez.
So you get back on trail after you've gone the wrong way.
After you give me the wrong direction. Yeah, we call him Wrong Way Carl, Doc. That's his trail name, is Wrong Way Carl. So
Wrong way.
wrong way.
Doc, I'm impressed you're able to pull out those 5 stories, because I guess you've had a lot of guests on the show.
Crazy.
That's amazing. And those are all excellent stories. So thank you for sharing those. That's very cool.
That's amazing. I got a question for you, Doc.
Okay.
Who's the one person you'd love to talk to that you're like, either like if you haven't talked to them yet, or you haven't gotten a response from yet? Like, is there somebody on your mind that you're like, I gotta talk to this person?
Yeah, if you'd asked me about 2 months ago, it probably would have been Heather Anderson, Anish,
Yep.
Okay.
or Andrew Skirka.
Okay.
But guess what? They've both been on the show now.
Wow.
So I've talked to each of them. I think who I'd love to have would probably be maybe Conrad Anker. I'm working on him.
Okay.
Jimmy Chin would be
Yep.
fascinating to talk to. That guy's incredible.
Have you've asked these folks? You've reached out and you've like thrown emails at them, or how's
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I have. Tommy Caldwell.
Okay.
I've heard that
the
name.
climber. Yeah. But I think I probably would be beside myself if I could land Laz Lake, aka Gary Cantrell.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with him?
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's the guy that's in charge of the Barkley marathons. And,
that's right.
He's like an old curmudgeon character that's just like I don't know if I would trust having him on the show. First of all, I don't know that he would show up if we scheduled him. And if he did show up, like I would have to, I don't know. I'd be like, this show is going to be heavily edited. So, so what's okay? Aside from him just being a crazy character,
I'm a bit obsessed with the Barkley marathons.
Okay,
I've talked to a number of people who have competed in the Barkley marathons. I was fortunate enough to talk to 2 of the 3 who've actually finished the Barkleys this year.
Oh wow!
Aurelian Sanchez and John Kelly. It was fantastic.
Let me back it up real quick because I don't think everybody knows the Barkley marathons.
Sure.
So it's these loops you do in Tennessee, and it's like this kind of like this masochistic race where basically like they have these time cutoffs. You're going mostly off trail and you're tearing your body up. And all you're doing is you're searching for like pages in a book to prove that you got to the various checkpoints. It's at a terrible time of year. They always seem to have the worst weather and they're always miserable. And just, and then I guess the entrance of the race, there's a couple kind of things that go with it. First of all, they send you a letter of regret. We regret to inform you that you've like been accepted into the race. And then you got to bring like a license plate and some weird thing to get in. It's like you got to bring this guy Laz Lake like a shirt one year and some other stuff. What am I missing?
Carl, he acts like he's heard of this guy somewhat. He's familiar a little bit with the Barkley, and then he proceeds to rattle off every single detail about.
No, I said I knew.
Exactly.
I've watched documentaries, man.
Exactly.
I like the challenges. This is beyond me. This is just trying to hurt yourself at this point.
Yeah, I've asked everybody I've had on that's done the Barkley. I've asked them about now's your time to share what the actual application process is because it's highly secretive,
right?
And they all just smile and look at me and nod and don't say a whole lot about the application process.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Of course.
Yeah,
Derek will figure it out.
Jeez, yeah, I'll Google it. It's fine. I know some people.
Okay, so that's an interesting answer. That's not where I thought you were gonna go like Bear Grylls or down that road.
Who wouldn't want Bear Grylls?
Have you asked him to be on the show?
The funny thing is I reach out a lot through social media. He does not have a social media account that I can find. I've got a couple of followers who are trying to put me on the trail of him. So
does he even? He's like the kind of guy that probably doesn't even have an email. He just
exactly,
and maybe not a phone number, maybe not even a landline. He's just like
he's like the Bill
knock
Murray
on my door.
Backpacking.
Yeah. Give me the secret knock, and then maybe I'll answer.
Yeah.
So, Derek mentioned Google. I've Googled Gary Cantrell email, and they want you to pay a certain amount to see all the Gary Cantrells in the United States.
Jeez.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Okay. So you've done. You've hit a range of topics, a range of adventurers, and so my question is, which podcast episode would you be most excited to record? So I've got 3 titles here with your guests, and you got to pick one. All right.
Okay.
Option A: How to catch bad guys using river rapids with Meryl Streep. Option B: How to kill a mean bear with a stick with Anthony Hopkins. And option C: How I friended and then unfriended a volleyball on a deserted island with Tom Hanks. Which one are you recording?
Oh, I am definitely doing the Tom Hanks one.
Okay.
Because anytime, Castaway is one of those movies that anytime it's on and you're flipping through the channels, I've got to just watch the whole thing.
Okay.
He is the actor of our generation, and what a story. And he talk about a character actor or a method actor. They filmed the beginning of that movie with him at his probably heaviest, and then they took like a 2-year break while he slimmed down to like skin and bones, and then picked up on the island, which
Right.
is mind-boggling.
It is,
So,
yeah. I mean, he was committed for sure, But yeah, the whole talking to the volleyball thing, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you mean about that? That was great. What are you talking about?
Like you wanna cut your hand and bloody a volleyball so you can talk to it.
What are you going to talk to on the island? A coconut?
I'm not gonna talk
Tree?
to anybody.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pray, and that's sufficient.
He made a friend, and that got him through it.
Do either of you have the email address for Tom Hanks or Wilson, the volleyball, that I could reach out?
I mean, I could just let me just text Tom real quick. I'll just
Nice.
Yeah. We're not shy. Our show's not shy about just asking everybody to be on our show, and if we get hits, it's great, and if not, we just kind of move on to the next person.
That's what you do. That's what you do. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
squeaky wheel. That's right.
You never know. In fact, so we've actually been reaching out to Survivor Man for years now.
Oh, geez.
So it's like every 6 months I'll send an email to Les Stroud or his people, and they're like, "Oh, maybe. Oh no, he can't this time." I'm like, anytime, even if it's for 10 minutes, we'll take it. And
what's he doing now? Is he have another show going on?
I don't even think he does anything. Like, what does he do?
Just lounging around.
He was like searching for Bigfoot for a couple of years, and then he wrote a couple books, and he should have plenty of time to come on our podcast. Let's be honest.
Come on, he just doesn't want to.
I'll email him this week. We'll find out.
He might not be ready for it. Give him some more time. He's got a lot going on. So that is fabulous. Well, tell us what you got coming up on your podcast. What do we have to look forward to on the next few episodes coming out?
Yeah, so currently we are airing the end of season 6. I've already got some episodes for season 7 in the can. So looking forward, we've got Jacob Crush Pepper. Pepper, trail name Crush.
That's his name.
Yeah, He got a great story. He's been on before. He was in a devastating car accident, and he has recovered and is pushing himself to higher heights out there on the trail. He's hilarious to talk to. He sounds like a surfer from Huntington Beach that's now out on the trail. But
nice,
a lot of fun. I mentioned Heather Anish Anderson. She's a triple crowner. She's done the Triple Crown 3 times. The last time was a calendar year Triple Crown, where she did all 3 trails in one calendar year.
Right.
She was a very interesting person to talk to. Great perspective out there.
Did she do a video with you as well?
She did.
Okay. There was another show I think she was on, and she was not interested in the video podcast, and maybe she's changed her tune. I'm just curious.
Yeah. And then Arlette Lawn had her on for a second time. She's the first woman to hike all 11 national scenic trails. She's a hoot and a holler.
Nice.
And then you always have to go with a guy with the trail name of Desert Jesus. Nick Fowler. Desert Jesus.
That one just came out, right?
I believe so. There was I have a promo episode, I think it came out about that one. He is the holder of the self-supported FKT of the PCT.
Okay.
Wow.
Self-supported. So he was actually backpacking it then.
Right.
Okay.
Which to me did not have a team with him.
Yeah, and I'm heavily biased. So when I hear these records are set, and it's just you got the team, you got somebody who's like the chef who's feeding you every night. Yeah, I mean they're athletes and they're doing some amazing things. It's just not as interesting or as impressive for me. I like the self-supported ones.
Yeah. And then to round it out, because we talked about the Barkleys, I also had a great conversation with Damian Hall, who was a first timer in the Barkley, and he got to the 5th loop, which is pretty darn impressitive.
Yeah, that doesn't usually happen.
No. And when the Barkley is happening, it's hard to get real-time updates on it. There is one particular guy, Keith Dunn, who tweets about what's happening on the trail. And of course, he doesn't know everybody's name, so he gives everybody a description. And I think tall white guy with beard was the description used for like 7 or 8 guys out there.
Nice.
But Damian Hall, his nickname from Keith Dunn, as he was tweeting about it, was Guy with Mohawk. So he is from the UK, had a mohawk, and a really entertaining guy to talk to.
I love it.
You keep on circling back to the Barkley thing. So do you have any interest in at least like attending it, being a spectator, doing live interviews out there, anything along those lines?
Yes, all of the above. I've tried to get Garmeyer to commit to me being part of his crew out there the next time he gets entered. And then I found out that each contestant is only allowed to have 1 crew member. So that's probably not going to happen. But
they have, so there's stories of just rando hikers out there who are like, hey, here's a random book that was just left in the woods. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna clean up, and then that's obviously people's checkpoints. They're searching everywhere for it, and they kill a bunch of time. So the fact that there's random hikers out there, you got to be able to at least get into the park, right?
Yes, that actually happened this year. Not that I got into the park, but somebody took a book this year
Right.
off of the fifth loop, and
wow.
it got kind of dicey there for the finishers.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is like nice. They're being nice. They're picking up what they think is trash,
Right.
but they're wrecking the race. Like they could literally ruin somebody's race that way. So anyway, I think it's interesting. So you're waiting to be on Jeff's crew, and you're not going to go out there as like a media kind of mogul or anything like that.
No, I'd have to convince Mrs. Doc to let me go cross country on the spur of a moment when I find out that the Barkley is happening, because it's also kind of shrouded in secrecy.
I thought it was April.
Right,
yeah, it's kind of March, April time period.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like we got some homework to do, Derek. We got to look up a lot of stuff on Google for Doc here.
A lot of Googling going on.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
Okay. I'm making a list, checking it twice, all that fun stuff.
All right.
It's amazing.
Doc, I feel like we're just scratching the surface here, man. We need to have you back on and dig a little deeper here, because the stories you shared and the information you gave is just awesome. Obviously, people can continue to check you out on your podcast, Hiker Trash Radio. But thanks so much for taking the time and joining the show.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, man. You called him the trash man. Like, you literally called him the trash man right when we were meeting him.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because you just that's how you introduce yourself, right? I'm just going to name you a nickname called Trash Man.
We all have gifts, and I can get away with that. You cannot. You cannot. And he loved it, and he
I don't want to call somebody the trash when I meet somebody.
That's a great, what a great name. He's got a great podcast name. Trash Man, dude.
Oh my gosh, you're so
Bring
funny.
it. I love it.
All right, so with a more guest-based show, he's got obviously a variety of guests on, and he picked some fun stories.
He did.
Which one stood out to you? Which one was your favorite?
Ooh, I kind of like the one where the biker lady had to come back. She like biked without her seat for a while, and then she came back and beat the expected winner. And like, that was pretty sweet too. They're all. Yeah,
we should have her on there.
It's pretty sweet.
I try to be like pretty sportsman-like. I think if somebody was going the wrong, this has happened in a race. We've been in an adventure race before, and somebody missed a checkpoint, and I was like, we want to go back there. Like, you missed a checkpoint, and they could have gone for half a day and then had to return. I would not want to be that team that did that. So
you would have felt guilty if you didn't say something.
It's not even guilty. It's just, I think it's just good sportsmanship. If I'm going to beat you, I want to beat you at your best. And if you're going to end up beating me, then you're better than me anyway.
So would it be like, if he beat you, you would have been like, well, you only beat me because I helped you out. Are you that guy?
No. But okay. Like, you're a pretty competitive guy. Let's say that you're taking on somebody that you respect, whether it's like some sort of sport or game or whatever, and you beat somebody on a technicality or because they made it a fatal flaw, not because you were better, but because of their kind of blunder in the end.
Sure.
Is that as satisfying as like beating?
I get what you're saying. Like, you want to beat them fair and square. I do get that. But if you're out on that adventure race and stuff, is there like a gray area? That's what I want to know. Is there a gray area where you can be like, hey, I'm passing you right now. I know you're going the wrong way. You missed a checkpoint. Could you just like have turned and been like, hey, check your map. See ya. Could you have said?
Yeah, probably. That's fair. If we were one of the top teams, we probably could have been more competitive, and if we might have played it differently, but we were just middle of the pack, so it wasn't a thing.
And when you mean play it differently, you mean like not say anything and ignore the guy and let him get lost?
Yeah, there's something to that. Is sometimes there'll be teams that, they're leading the way, they're winning, and they have people behind them kind of playing Pac-Man, trying to come up from behind. And all they're doing is they're putting no effort into the navigation. And so they'll actually like hide out or crash out somewhere and say, no, you guys are gonna have to navigate. You play your own game, or, there's some strategy involved for sure.
I can see it. So we've talked about the show. What was it? The adventure, the grid. What's the show where you team up? What's that one?
The Bear Grylls one?
No. It starts with an A.
Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race. Thank you. Okay, I forgot. So we've talked about this Amazing Race for a while. What if we're clearly doing well and you see another team and they're about to like go off the, deviate from whatever they're supposed to be doing, and they're deviating? Are you intentionally not saying something that moment? Are you like,
I don't know. My take on the Amazing Race. Well, first of all, that's an elimination race. That's a totally different structure than just like, I'm going to get there before you, right? Like, you're eliminating people from the race. That's it. I'd have to think about that one. But my focus, if I was doing the Amazing Race and you were my teammate, my focus would be very different because I don't think that we would have the chance to win the race. I think that we could win some legs for sure, but I don't think we could win the race outright. I think that our lack of attention to detail is going to cost us. I'm also the guy that's going to get the bad cab driver who's going to like drive the wrong way for 3 hours or whatever.
Oh, geez.
And so my focus would be more on, entertainment value, right? Is there a way to put you in a position with one of the challenges that's going to make you look foolish? You're probably gonna do the same thing for me, and we're just gonna enjoy every moment.
We're gonna be like the idiot, the team of buffoons.
Not that. Like we're just gonna be poking fun. It'd be like the podcast and Amazing Race form. Don't you think?
I think to a degree. I think our competitive juices would flow. I think we want to try.
They would, but once you get to the events and they're like, all right, Carl, you got to do some like cultural dance and
you
master it in order to get the next clue. And then I've taken that task on. It's just not going to happen.
We're going to fail. Yeah, you're going to have to dance. We're going to go home if you have to dance. So no shot. We have no shot.
Correct.
Anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that was good.
That was good. Are any other takeaways from the interview?
No, I mean, it's fun to hear what he's got coming up and who he's going to go. Yeah, I'd be curious to see if he actually goes over to the Barclays and does any of those interviews. Yeah,
he was definitely into the Barclay marathons. There's a number of documentaries on YouTube about that. And if you're into just that, crazy challenge, outdoor adventure stuff, it might be up your alley. But I just think it's like too much. When
overkill.
There's years where nobody finishes the race.
It seems kind of lame.
I want an adventure that there's risk, there's doubt, but there's also the ability to achieve success. I don't want like, oh, nobody's going to finish. That's lame.
Yeah. Like the Eco Challenge.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Sure. Okay. All right. So I've got trash trivia coming up right after this.
Yes.
All right. You ready for some trash
trivia? Trash trivia. Here we go.
Trash trivia. Okay. Number one, what percentage of the trash you put in the recycling bin ends up in a landfill anyway?
Okay, go ahead.
And I think this is based on like California stats.
I think I've heard this.
A, 50%, B, 100%, C, 35%, or D, 10%.
That ends up back in I want to say it's like 50.
A, 50%?
A
is incorrect. It is 35%. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's bad, though. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. That is pretty bad.
I feel like it's worse depending on the area you're in. So I think California is actually probably better than other states in this regard.
Oof. It's terrible.
It's rough. Okay, number two. What do most experienced backpackers use as their trash bag while on trail? Is it A, Ziploc, B, grocery store bag for states that are still giving those out, or C, a $50 Dyneema special bag? One that might have their logo that they're proud of, and they might even go on YouTube and brag about.
They might, if they're sponsored, do it. I want to say Ziploc, but I'm going to say Ziploc.
Ziploc is correct. Yes. People hate the single-use plastics. I reuse a lot of the Ziplocs, but
not with your trash.
Yeah, but the growing trend is the $50 special Dyneema bag.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one, you gotta get this right to win trivia here. Number three, what is the most common place hikers put trash in other people's packs without them knowing? It's a multiple choice. A, reservoir internal pocket. B, brain of the pack. C, mesh side pocket. Or D, nice people don't do this.
Oh, that's a loaded question. I'm going to say the reservoir sleeve.
What? That's such a bad answer. Are you serious? I know you've done that.
You're talking about the salmon.
Question is, have you done this?
You're talking about the salmon.
It is most people. It is the mesh side pocket all the time. Are you serious with that?
I've never done that. I don't think I've ever meshed
You haven't, but you're not most people. You're a little more creative.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that.
It's the mesh side pocket all the time, and usually people do it as a joke, and people can kind of tell they're doing it.
That's lame. I'm not even going to count that as a question. That's lame. I passed. Okay, great. That's awesome.
That's an embarrassing answer, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's a great answer. That's a great.
You could have made the case for D. Nice people don't do this, especially because you're not.
Nice people have fun with it too, though.
Yeah, they do. But you're not very nice. You're throwing trash in nonstop.
So are you not nice because you threw a rock in your own pack? What is that?
What? Because I framed you for a prank?
Correct. Is that nice? Yeah.
No, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Exactly. Thank you. Just so we know. So make sure we're.
I didn't say I was nice. All right.
Point made.
Wow, another fail, man. This is rough.
What do
for
you mean another fail? That was a pass. You failed last week. It's too bad.
Well, we'll talk about it.
We'll
All right, I got some tidbits here.
All right, let's see.
You sent me. I think you sent me this on Instagram. I want to say some footage.
Oh, well, the comment.
Captured.
Was it the comment?
No, I want to know what the comment. Now, what's that?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember I commented on something.
No. You sent me like a video file.
Did I?
You remember that? It was like a couple weeks ago. It wasn't like right.
Okay.
Yeah. There was some new Bigfoot footage.
Oh yeah.
Out in Colorado from a train. There was like a Bigfoot like sat down in view of the train. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
Was that real?
I don't know. I don't know the scenario for why that'd be faked. Like, hey, we're gonna be coming by on the train. Get your costume ready.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it's some random dude who just like to tease the train. He knows the train's coming. He's like, I live around the corner. Let's do it. Just messing with
it was too far away. I don't know. But here's what I do know is that if there's any interesting Bigfoot footage, I'm gonna have about 100 people send me the film of that now. I had so many people send that to me and notify me that I felt. Did you really? Like part of me feels good because people are, they're thinking of me. They're
do you feel like you're becoming a Bigfoot authority because of this?
But that's the bad side is I don't want, I'm not the Bigfoot guy. I'm not hunting.
You're becoming a Bigfoot guy.
I'm not going on expeditions. I just think it's interesting.
Terrible. It is interesting.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. The next one we've got a special review by Backpacking and Blisters correspondent Jen Deanna. She is reviewing some outerwear from Alpine Outdoors. Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, Backpacking and Blisters family. Since we traveled with Carl to the Outdoor Retailer Show, I've been hard at work testing out gear to let you know what makes the cut for my list. Today, for Jen's picks, we are talking about keeping your backside covered in style. I want to direct your attention to a small business brand with big heart, Alpine Outdoors. I absolutely love their mission to get women outdoors in comfort, so that's why I'm excited to tell you about the Ridge Pant. Now, Alpine Outdoors makes a very small selection of other items that you can buy, but their main focus is this Ridge Pant, and I love that about them. They have decided to do just a few things and do it really well, and it shows. These pants find the sweet spot between durability and comfort. They are more rugged than leggings, but give enough stretch that you kind of feel like you're wearing leggings. I appreciate the higher rise, and the pocket is large enough to stow my iPhone. The fabric itself repels water really well, and if it does wet out, it dries super quick. My favorite feature is the built-in gaiter cords at the bottom, which come in handy when you need to do a little stream crossing. After washing, my size 4 pair weighs in at a reasonable 12.6 ounces and will set you back about $149. But I feel like the cost per wear for these will end up making these an excellent value. So if you're online shopping for Small Business Saturday, be sure to check out this rad female outfitter.
Do you have any interest? I mean, like the review that Jen just did was for like female specific pants, but they've really come a long way with like hiker specific pants that are comfortable. They're stretchy. They're not resisting your legs as you're trying to hike, but you're still going like old school with like the old zip offs from the 1990s. Is that correct?
That is incorrect. I don't have the zip offs anymore.
You don't have them? Okay. What do you have?
No, I have, what is that? I forgot the name. Keels? No, Keels. Okay. I think I have those.
And I don't mean that like they're still making the zip offs. I don't mean that zip offs are from the 1990s. Your pants were literally from the 90s though, right?
Probably the 80s.
Okay.
The 80s. Yeah. I keep things for a long time, Carl.
So why did you change? Was it like, did you feel like you'd like achieved maximum level of like dorkiness with those, or what's going on?
I think there was well, I don't even want to admit this on air, but maybe I should. So no, I had the zip off pants for like what, a while? How many years was that? Like 7, 8?
You keep the same pants for it was like decades.
No, I had the zip off, and then they just got like too loose. Okay. And I was like cinching the belt every trip. I'm like, I gotta be done with these. And I think I bought a pair and they were actually like a women's 8, but they were in the men's section. And I was like, these fit pretty good. I was like, let's keep them. And I didn't realize. And then
okay, so I would like to change the angle of this conversation. So what you're suggesting is that Jen Deanna's review there is for you.
Exactly. I wear women's hiking pants. No, I did, and then I fixed it. But
all right. Okay, there's like an Office episode where Michael was wearing a women's suit. Was that inspired by your clothing choices?
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I think that, just to clarify, I don't think that the pants, the ones that you wore, were dorky. It was just that they were dorky because they were 20 years old.
Probably,
and apparently they were the wrong gender as well. So there's that.
Not the original. The originals were guys' pants.
Okay.
They were just like,
I've got a picture, man, of you. You were wearing like one of the original backpacking shirts, but you used to have these like blue button-down shirts.
yeah.
And at some point, it didn't fit you anymore, and so you were wearing almost like if you didn't wear pants, it could be like a like a dress on you. It was that baggy.
A dress.
Yeah.
The shirt was that baggy?
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. I'm wondering, was this like around the same time where you became a part-time vegan? Is that
part-time vegan?
these
I think
related?
you when we handed out those blue shirts, I think you gave me the XXXL, and then you took.
Why would
like,
anybody even
large.
have that? Why would that even be?
I don't know, but you gave it to me.
Okay.
I'm like, this is too big, but I felt like obligated. I got to wear this.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
Anyway, so if you're interested in some fancy pants that Jen Deanna reviewed, Alpine Outdoors, check them out. High-end stuff, comfortable on the trail, and there you go.
Nice. I like
that,
it.
my friend, is all I got.
And that is all I got, guys. Thanks again for hanging out with us and the doc, the trash man, and Carl himself. Check us out on the social media handles, backpackingandblisters.com. And Carl just told us he was the guy out on the trail with his kids in jeans and loafers. We'll see you next time.